Welcome everyone to our latest Insight interview for Site Leaders Connect. We're excited to have you here, and today our guests are Megan and Mike, and they're going to talk about awesomeness. So I'm really excited about that. But can you please introduce yourselves and tell us why you chose to be an educational leader?
Sure. My name is Megan Hacholski. I'm currently an 8th grade science teacher in Illinois, and becoming a leader is something that I kind of took on slowly. I think as most teachers do, I started and I just was within my classroom walls and took over a couple things at a time. And now I'm at a place where I feel like I'm a leader in the building, and I'm, looked at by my administrators and colleagues as somebody who can lead. So not really necessarily something I chose, but something that just kind of came naturally.
And I'm Michael Abramczyk, the STEM facilitator for our Smart Lab here at Simmons Middle School. And my connection to leadership is just, I had amazing teachers and amazing coaches and amazing leaders in my life. And a lot of people that, my dad was a basketball coach for, like 25, 30 years. So I was around like all these like influential coaches and had connections. And it was just like, there's constantly be able to take things away from these people and, just apply to my own teaching. So as I got my feet wet with education, it was just natural to take away some of these stories and some of these lessons that I had learned and share them out with the people I came into contact with.
Awesome. Thank you. So yeah, thank you for sharing that. I love that, we're leaders in so many different roles. And so, Megan, you're talking about who now and having some influence. Teacher leaders are so important. And so that's awesome. And Mike, I like your stories about reminding us that someone influenced you. And so now you want to do the same for others. So thanks for that. So tell us about awesomeness. What's some insight you've learned about being awesome? How could we do that? What does that mean? And what do you think might be beneficial for our viewers?
I think, well, it was kind of a joke when Mike decided to put that as our topic. So then I had to do what I always do and take what he says and turn it into something real. So I was thinking about it this morning. And I think once you realize your power as a leader and your power to be awesome in what you're doing, that's when you can really flip things in your classroom for your students. And, being confident in what you are able to bring to the table is really important, because I think too often, especially when you start teaching, you just kind of want to do everything right. And you are very isolated within your classroom, like I was my first year. And once you realize that it's okay to break out and it's okay to try new things and fail at those things, then that's when that awesomeness comes out.
So now I love that Megan took the teacher approach. I'm gonna come at it from a student approach, because too often kids, they'll write themselves off. So they'll look at themselves and say, oh, I'm just a kid. I'm just 12. I'm just 13. I'm 14. What we try to do here in our lab is to push kids out of their comfort zones and get them thinking differently about their approaches to school and finding different ways that they can, demonstrate their knowledge. We've done a lot like the last few weeks here since we've been kind of in inventory mode, trying to get our lab kind of put back together the way it was given to us. We've been doing some design challenges. We're working on a design challenge right now with SketchUp. We did a game design challenge using Kodu. So again, just talking to kids and just saying, hey, have you ever thought about like applying some of this stuff, different ideas to showcase, how you understand the concepts that teachers are teaching, trying to get them to realize that their opinions, their views, their voice, it matters now, and they don't have to wait until they have a job or wait until they have a college degree to have value and be able to add into the conversation. We try to get them to buy into it, and just the whole thing that's been going through my mind. And I talked to Megan about doing some blogging. One of the ideas is like, I want to be your first follower. I want to support you. I want to buy into what you're selling now, rather than wait until someone else steals that good idea, and just empowering them to realize that, their hopes, their dreams, their thoughts, their ideas, they matter now. And they need to be bold enough to step out of their comfort zone and bring that into existence. And honestly, what I tell them all the time is, what's the worst that can happen? Teacher's going to say no. Teacher's going to be like, oh, no, you still got to do the paper. You still got to do the PowerPoint. So what? So you don't give up after that first no. No doesn't always mean never. No means for that situation, yeah, it's not going to work, but you can try in a different class. You can try with a different teacher. You could try with a different subject. And if you need someone to back you up, if you need someone to validate your views, call me in. I will back you up 100% and come alongside of you and help you push this idea forward. So that's what's been going through my mind with that. So
I love that. So you're basically talking about empowering your students by showing them that each of them are awesome, and I think that's what I also like is saying, if you can't find a teacher that does that for you, that makes that connection, I'll be there for you to support you. I think that's some great wisdom there. I think we could do the same with teachers. I mean, as teachers, we're not all the same, just like our students are not all the same. So how would you say that leaders, as teachers, how would you think of some leaders that you've had? How have they supported you in recognizing your own awesome and moving forward that way?
I think for me, the support from our administration and just kind of letting me go and try things that, a lot of people weren't doing in their classroom, and having that trust that it was going to be okay, even if it didn't go well the first time, that I would fix it and I could do it on my own. That was really huge for me. And I could say the same about all my colleagues. My counterpart on the other 8th grade team was not comfortable trying a lot of things that I was doing, but she would always say, you go for it and then let me know how it goes and maybe I'll try it next week. So having that support throughout the building and with my community here was really helpful, because then I had more confidence in what I was going to do.
Yeah, and I think, to echo what Megan's saying, we've got great administrators, Tracy Flood, Derek Simpson, Jeff Summers, who if the answer is no, they're going to help you kind of reframe your idea so that no becomes a yes. And I had a conversation with a younger teacher who was getting shut down their idea. And I said, don't give up after that first no. You got to find a way, keep knocking, find a way for that door to open, repackage it, reconfigure it a little bit. And they're willing to work with you, which is beneficial. Also, like Megan said, Aunt Jean, our this lady on staff, Jean Patterson, is absolutely amazing. And, she's worked with us in the past in drama, and we just call her Aunt Jean because she's not old enough to be our mom, but she's not young enough to be our same age. So we just call her Aunt Jean, and Aunt Jean is awesome for, just we'll run crazy ideas past her, or I'll run crazy ideas past Megan, and they'll help me to kind of find the good in, what I'm throwing out there. Cause 90% of the stuff that goes through my mind is completely haywire, and they'll pick out all the good stuff and kind of cobble it together to make something really awesome that can be presented to a classroom, can be presented to students, can be presented to the community, and not get us all into deep trouble.
Right.
But I still want to have a bonfire.
I like what
Yeah, that was one of my ideas. I said, I'm going to take all the old lab tables and chop them up and have this pep rally outside, because we're right next to a fire station. And Tracy, Mrs. Flood, was like, have you lost your mind? That is the worst idea. And they'll constantly bring that up as hey, at least it's not a bonfire. At least it's not a bonfire. It's the fire station's right there. They could have put it out if it got out of control. It's all good. It was a great idea. One of these days.
That's great. I think that's a wonderful. I'm getting a little echo there.
Yeah, sorry.
There we go. Okay, got it. I think that's a great. I'll edit all that out. No big deal. So I think that's great, because you're talking about validating even the fact that bad ideas can lead to good ideas, and that collaboration piece is huge. And so, modeling that as a staff, it's going to be so much easier if you're doing that together as teachers. Then the students are going to see that too. And you're going to have those examples, right, where you can say, hey, guess what, guys? I get bad ideas sometimes too, but then my peers help me. So have you seen that great collaborative atmosphere that you have as colleagues has transferred to the classroom with your students?
I think so. Mike and I ran a coding unit for a few years in my classroom. And I think watching he and I work together translated really well into the kids working together, because we are so different. And I think that they were able to see that and go, okay, I don't have to work with somebody who's exactly the same as me. I can be the quiet student and work with the loudmouth of the group. And and it's going to be okay. But we always pushed this whole driver navigator piece. And that's kind of how we taught the class too. I don't know if you want to explain that a little
definitely. When we were doing projects in class, because there's kids that are like so keyed up. They're like, oh, this is my thing. I could totally do this. And it's like, yeah, this might be your thing, but we need to make sure we give everybody a chance to participate and be a part of this. So what we would do is we'd flip flop. There'd be like we were working with Google CS First, and there's like eight lessons. So it's a guaranteed where you're going to be 4 days, four lessons where you're going to be in control, moving the parts and pieces around. Your partner is going to be sitting next to you, watching what's going on the screen and giving you advice and giving you feedback. Sometimes when you're really, really close and intensely working on a project, you may miss the details. You may be so hooked up on trying to solve a problem that you miss important points, and having somebody that's got less pressure on them to come alongside of you and say, hey, what if we switch these things around? It just really opened up doors and got them working together, and a lot of times got them working together with people that they would have not normally connected with. So you see new friendships and new relationships develop out of these situations. Here in our lab, this is our first year with creative learning, our smart lab, and we had to like basically relearn how to do instruction, because like with teaching, a lot of times it's like you feel like as a teacher you got to have all the right answers. You got to tell the kids what they need to do and where they need to go and all that sort of stuff. But with creative learning, everything is kind of flipped around. So it's the burden of learning is on the students. So they're doing all the exploration. They're asking, doing all the investigation. And when they run into a problem, this is one of the things that I've talked about in chats is I've learned to ask why. Ask them why they think this or what they think about stuff, as opposed to just giving them an answer, giving them space to kind of untangle some of the knots, and not being the person as to be the answer giver. And just seeing these kids, they get frustrated, they get so angry, they get so worked up, and they're like, oh, just give me an answer, because that's the way we've trained them. But when they find the solution to the problem, their face lights up and they're like, oh my gosh, I didn't think this was possible. And it's like, yeah, you totally could do that. There's no reason why you're smart enough to resolve some of these issues. And I love telling them, like, whenever they run into that problem, when you figure it out, call me over. I want to see, what the answer is. And they get angry at me, and I walk away and I laugh really loud. And then a couple minutes later, you just hear this big, huge, like, explosion, like, ah! And it's like, they got it. They figured it out. So, but with just seeing like just how the collaboration piece has taken place here, here in our lab, they have like this National Spotlight Award that they give to schools that are really functioning at a high level with the lab. Our lab, in our first 8 months, something like that, we got this National Spotlight Award, working with my partner Kelly Williams and all the science teachers on the STEM side, like Megan. We were able to do something special and hit that mark in the first 8 months of having the lab installed. I mean, and we're waiting now for this whole mentality of collaboration, this whole mentality of I can do this. I don't need a teacher to hold my hand and walk me through it. I've got the motivation to kind of seep into the other classrooms, and it's going to take time. And we always talk about like the sixth grade students that we have, the first group that really came to us, the ones that are going to be here for the next 2 years with us. We're excited to see what the educational product looks like here at Simmons in 2 years, when these kids are moving as eighth graders, when they've been trained in this whole question and ask why and investigate, and having that boldness inside of them. It's going to be an amazing time to be here and see, how that educational product is going to transform.
Absolutely. Well, I love how you are empowering students by challenging them even when they don't want to be challenged. And I agree that I've seen there needs to be a flip where the students are the ones, asking the questions and exploring, and that we're not giving them all the answers. And so I love that, and I'm excited to follow your journey and learn more about what does happen in a couple years when those sixth graders are eighth graders. Well, are there places that you have been inspired, whether it's people to follow, blogs to read, books to read? Who has led you to your journey, and who would you ask others to learn from that have been, great people to follow and such?
Geez, that's such a hard question. I feel like we've got so many people that we connect with. We, like most now, Twitter is our main source of inspiration. Trying to think of some chats that we're at every week. We've got our friend Phil Strunk in Virginia, who I think for both of us has been a huge source.
Yep.
Newer teacher, and the stuff that he's doing is unbelievable.
Yeah, Walled Chat on Thursdays at 8. Sorry to jump in, but it just getting it, you guys, you and Adam.
Yeah.
Honestly, you guys were the ones that really kind of took the gasoline and dumped it on the fire. Because I would come back to school on Thursday morning. I'd be like, you gotta get connected with this chat. It's out. It's late. It's like 9 o'clock at night.
It's late for you guys. Yeah.
Exactly. But it's right. Perfect time for you guys out there. You and Adam, what you and Adam were doing, the conversation that you had started, and the people that I got connected with out there really just took, what I was doing here to the next level, and it really kind of inspired us to branch out and start doing our own thing. And that's one of my Wednesday night standbys. I love, just being a part of your discussion that you guys got going out there in California, and just seeing what you guys are producing and seeing the impact that Adam's having, at the Cardinal Innovation Center. I mean, it's such an inspiration for us. There's tons of people, like Megan said, there's a group out east and some people down in Texas that we've gotten connected with. Christina DeGero, or I'm mispronouncing her name, Kelly Hogart, Wendy Hankins, they're all about empowering kids and just pushing kids to believe in themselves. And it's all about positive. It's been such an encouragement. Just I made a comment the other night about I love getting tagged by them or love getting mentioned by them because it's always something good. It's not like, hey, go to my chat. It's like, no, you need to hear this. This is a message for you. This is a message that you can take to your students and share with them in 5 minutes or the next hour or the next time. Oh, hitting you in the face there. Sorry.
It's normal. I'm used to it.
Something that you can share with those kids in the next class that you see them. It's such an encouragement to have people like that are constantly filling your bucket, whether you ask them to or not. It's amazing. And to have that network of friends that you can just pick up your phone or turn on your computer and check in with them. I mean, there's no other place that I'd rather be. And I saw, this kind of like a offshoot, but something I saw on Twitter randomly, someone referred to Twitter as the most positive teachers lounge in the world. Mm-hmm. It's that's why I'm there every night. That's why I'm going to the events. That's why I'm engaging with all these people across the United States, around the world. It's because the people who are there, they want to be there, and they want to better themselves for the sake of the kids that are going to be coming in 12 hours, in 15 hours, in 18 hours, or whatever it is. They're there because they want to make themselves better, because they believe in these kids that are coming to them. So yeah, thank you guys for what you do. Mm-hmm. And thank you for being such a huge influence on us. And I know that some people are kind of wimps and they go to bed early.
Can't help it.
But yeah, I absolutely, so don't cut this out. Honestly, we need to get more people to come out to CV Tech Talk and the amazing things that you guys are doing. You guys just never cease to amaze me, and I'm so grateful for for your support and your friendship. And we're really looking forward to getting together with you guys when you come to ISTE and celebrate with you in real life, because you guys, like I said, you guys have been, you're a huge reason why we're able to do what we do. Without people like you and Adam, we'd just be, a couple of jerks, like sending tweets about like what we saw during the day.
Well, thank you for that. I really appreciate the shout out, and that warms my heart, because really that's what we wanted to do. We developed this regional chat because we saw great things happening across the Central Valley in California, and we wanted to connect. I was able to see it, and I felt when I was a teacher and then when I was an administrator, like I didn't realize it was happening, across town, in another county, but not that far away. It's like an hour away, and there's all these amazing things happening we didn't know. And so it's really about just facilitating that collaboration and that celebration of all these awesome things that are happening. And it really is so humbling and exciting that now people from all over the place are regulars. Like, we did not expect that, but that really proves to me the power of connections and the power of, as leaders, I think if we facilitate the connections, we facilitate that collaboration, which you're doing with students, which leaders, can do with their staff, but beyond, that's where we grow, right? And so thank you for that. I really appreciate that shout out. And I would encourage, I know that not all of our viewers have yet gotten on Twitter and learned about the power of those connections. But what's great about it is, as an educator, you never have enough time, and you're never going to know everything, especially with educational technology. There's no way you can keep up because things are updating all the time. Google moved, where the Google Classroom login button was. Now it's on, somewhere else or whatever. So because we have this PLN, this personal learning network on Twitter, or other social media platforms, if you're not comfortable with Twitter, get connected with a Facebook group or whatever happens to be, then all of a sudden you don't have to be an expert anymore, because we can grow together and learn from each other. So
to that, not just for like gaining knowledge, but just having support. There's so many times I even going back to last year when I was kind of dipping my toe into ed chats and stuff, like how many times, I felt like so overwhelmed, felt like completely isolated on my own little island over here. Like, oh my gosh, I can't make it. And I'd show up at Fearless Ed Chat, or I go to Kids Deserve It, or I go to CV Tech Talk and walk out of there feeling like $1 million. And, if you're not a fan of Twitter, if that scares you, that's fine. Get connected on Voxer. I know that the 4 o'clock faculty, that group is huge. They're always back and forth on Voxer. That's another avenue to connect with other teachers, other leaders. We're all doing the same basic thing. We're all facing the same issues. We're all facing the same problems. And if we cannot be there to support one another and help bear each other's burdens, then we're not going to make it. I can't say that enough. Like how much you need to be interconnected with other people, not just in your own building, but around the globe. Because kids are kids, and they're going to do crazy stuff. And what I'm seeing might be different than what you're seeing, but we might be able to find common ground and be able to support each other. So definitely, if you don't do anything this summer, put one thing on your list. And that's find some way to get connected with other educators to make sure you're not going into battle alone every single day. You need to find at least one other group or one other person outside of your little learning community, your little clique or building, that you can connect with, that they can support you and you can support them in their time of need.
Absolutely. Well, I think that's an awesome way to end our Insight interview. Great piece of inspiration there. I want to thank both Megan and Mike. Thank you for being here. I want to remind everyone else, certainly to check out siteleadersconnect.org and definitely follow the edu leaders that are on there on the searchable database as well. So thank you again. And
one more thing at you. I know you got to go, and Megan's like gonna punch me, but we've got our book study, Culturize. We're reading Culturize this summer.
Oh, perfect.
So if you're looking for a place to connect, if you want to just interact with other leaders, if you want to read a book, we're reading Culturize starting June 13th. Phil Strunk, the guy we talked about earlier from out in Virginia, he's going to be taking that first discussion on Wednesday, June 13th at 7 Central, so 5 Pacific. We'd love for you to join us if you're interested in getting more information or getting hooked up with us for the study. Send me a message on Twitter or a direct message, and I'll add you into our group, and we'll take you along on the journey. It's going to be awesome. We're really looking forward to it.
Excellent. Well, thanks for that, and hopefully we'll get some leaders to join in. All right. Thanks so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.